If you ask most people, generally speaking, all of us want to become millionaires or want to be a millionaire from what I've seen. However, if you were to further ask them, what are you going to do with the million dollars once you get it in your possession? It might be a little different answer and a little bit different perspective. So tonight I want to talk to you about the two gears, not only in real estate, but just in entrepreneurship that I have noticed from being an entrepreneur since 2004. The offense, one would call, is the earning part of money of your business, and then the defense is going to be the managing part of the money. So every Sunday, Dan Borrero and I come on here just to give you our broad perspective on being in the real estate industry for 50 years combined. And we love to take your calls and just talk to you about what you're doing in the business, what we're doing, current events, how these different changes in the administration and different bills are going to impact us. And we would love to hear from you tonight as we wait on my partner in crime, Dan Borrero. How you guys doing this evening? It is wonderful to see you on here. What up? What's going on? Derek, please put your name in the chat. Put your name in the chat and where you're chiming in from. I would love to know as we eagerly await my partner in crime. So, cut this thing on. Coming up, July 19th, we've got the VIP meetup. It's going to be in New York. Dan and I will give you, if you're in the Ultimate Real Estate Investor Mastermind, you'll get that information. If you have the mentorship unleashed, you'll get that information. And we can't wait to hang out with you in Brooklyn on July 19th, 5 o'clock. It's going to be cool. I've already got my plane tickets. I'm going to be flying to New York. I'll be there for a week. I cannot wait to meet you guys. Miss Jackson, what's going on? How you doing? Jersey in the building. What's good? What's good? Miss James, greetings to you. Greetings. So I wanted to talk to y'all briefly as I went to Maryland this weekend to drop off my daughter, by the way, y'all. She went to Australia. Can y'all believe my oldest daughter? She's in Australia. My eldest daughter is in Australia. I am just, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. My eldest daughter, thanks to you guys, all the donations and all the fundraising she did, it got canceled earlier this year, but it got put back on the map. And she's just landed she's in Melbourne, and she'll be flying to Sydney to perform at the Sydney Opera House this week. She's going to be there shortly. I didn't know Australia, I believe, is 14 hours. So it's like 8 o'clock there in the morning. And here it's like 6 o'clock at night where I'm at. But it's truly amazing to see these young kids really, really dig their heels in and go tackle life by the horns. I can tell my kids, like, look, go out there, try some stuff. But I believe in our efforts of earning money, as I was driving from Maryland, I'm like, even if I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it? What are you going to do? Because you cannot go out there and spend it. It's just not, you can't go out there and spend it, right? Oh, let me put the number up here. We'll wait on Dan to get in. I don't know where he is. You can't go spend it. So in order for you to actually go from 1 million to the 2 million, I will tell you that it takes, let's rewind. It takes a certain set of skills to get to the 1 million. Do we all agree on that? I think we can agree on that. But it takes a new set of skill set and mindset to go from the 1 million to the 2 million, right? Because what got you to the 1 might not get you to the 2 and further the 3 and the 4 and beyond what I noticed in my life. I look back, I looked at the first, I'm like, okay, I did this, and this. However, I kept doing this. Let's just say I kept doing A, B, C, D, and E. I wasn't getting to the 2, right? So I had to figure out what is it that's going to take me from 1 to the 2. And then going from the 2 to the 3, it took me another set of skills and skill set and mindset. And when we think about us, we are such, as a culture and a community, we are such stuck in the grind mode, stuck in the earning the offense in our business. We extremely rarely think about the managing part. And I am guilty as well. I'm not even going to say that I'm not guilty too. Go getter. What do you think about room rentals, pros and cons? I'm not qualified to teach on that. I have done a few of them. I've had some of my partners do them and get ripped to shreds. I've got some of my partners get ripped to shreds doing room rentals because what happened to him was one person stopped paying and then he got in bed and he started messing with another room rental, and then they formed a coup and they decided to stick together and not pay my guy. So when they stopped paying him, he wasn't getting any rent. They had to go to court and it was long, dragged out and all that stuff. So for me, I don't have any experience in room rentals, go getter, but I would love if anybody can chime in on that. I'm not quite sure. Miss James Smith, phenomenal. Miss James, who are the favorable HELOC institutions? So let's talk about what a HELOC is as we get into what I want to talk to y'all today about. Housing market hits milestone for first time in nearly 20 years. We're going to get to that. I'm like, these damn headlines, they'll make you want to fight somebody, won't they? We'll get to this in a minute. HELOC institutions, for me, what I did, that's right, a home equity line of credit. So you know what that is. My roundup homies, generally speaking, most lending institutions will loan you money. This is why I love, for me, I'm not saying this for everybody. This is why I don't mind putting money into real estate. So you guys know I built my house, right? I'm in this thing for a bunch of money, but I put a lot of cash into it. And every dollar, from my experience, every dollar you put into real estate, you can get it back out, right? Every dollar you get put into real estate. So for me, I put a bunch of money down, built my house, went to one of my local banks, pulled the money right back out on a home equity line of credit. They will give you the money back they'll give you a credit card or a checkbook based on the money that you have put into the property or the equity that you have in the property. All right. Now, institutions, Miss James, I just went with the one bank. It's so crazy. Like I have a bank that's been financing me since 2004. Luckily, it's called Atlantic Union. And they're only on the East Coast. But when I look at what I've done with them, they financed me to build it, and then I went right back to them, and I was like, "Hey, would you guys give me a line of credit on the house that I just built? Because I put a bunch of money in to build it of my own capital." And they looked at the deal, and do you know, we didn't have to turn in anything because I used my wife. My wife is the great borrower. She's that's why I know that this is a team sport. I'm the one out here. I'm the ship going around the ocean doing all this stuff. I'm the cruise ship, but my wife is the anchor, right? So she's gonna make sure that I get into the port safely and make sure that I don't drift off into the ocean aimlessly, if you will. So she has the great credit. My credit's cool too, but she has the 9 to 5, and we're going, and I've got the assets. So we team up, and we borrowed $250,000 back on the money that I just put into it. So I'm saying that to say I would go to your local, wherever you bank, Miss James. If I were you, I would go to wherever you bank because they have all your deposits. They can see how much you put in. So they can go right to my rental accounts. They can see Chris every month he puts in X dollars from rental properties every month, right? They can look at that for the last 20 plus years. They can see, okay, this guy's been consistent with doing this. And all we had to do was, I'm telling you, Miss James, a line of credit, y'all. If y'all have never got a home equity line of credit, the shit is like magic. It is amazing what these people do with money. You turn in the paperwork, they say yay or nay, whatever. They approve you, and then the next day you log into your bank account, right? And you have an account that you can draw. For us, it was $250,000, right? And the shit just shows up on the screen. I mean, it is really, when you think about our monetary system, the way these people play with money, it should be, in my opinion, it should be a little illegal. But in order for, like, Monday I logged into the account, I had no line of credit. I couldn't go spend $250,000. But on Tuesday, I logged in, boom. You telling me between yesterday and today, I've gained $250,000 in spending power. It is truly something that is amazing that these people have done with our monetary system. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it should even be legal because some people don't even know how to spend. a line of credit. You cannot spend it on consumable goods. Yo, the Hester, what was that? The Hammonds. What's going on, Hammonds out there in St. Louis? We got my homie here, Joel in Montgomery. What's going down? Miss Jackson, they loan you the money at a very variable rate. Yeah, the rate. My rate is one. No, my rate is prime plus one. It really wasn't that bad to me. I didn't really. Think about it. We use it, and we put it back. We use it and we put it back. That's how we use our home equity lines of credit. There's no reason for us to go out there and get in debt buying consumable goods on a line of credit. It's going to kill you. Yo, you caller, you're on the line with Chris tonight. We're waiting on Dan. Please state your name and where you're calling from. Jeremy?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Caller, you're on the line with Chris. We're waiting on Dan. State your name and where you're calling from, brother, sister.
Hey, what's going on, Chris? This is Jarrett from Virginia Beach.
Jared from Virginia Beach. What's up, my brother? Jared from Virginia
Not much,
Beach.
Chris. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed. I got you on the line. Happy holidays to you, my brother.
Same to you. Same to you.
How can we serve you?
So yeah, I got what I would consider is like my first like legitimate deal under contract.
What you would consider?
It's like slightly below.
Hold up. You said what you would consider. I don't. What do you mean by that, brother?
Well, it hits the 70% rule threshold, right? So that's what everybody sets. Where everybody agrees that the 70% rule is a good deal. Some people say 75 is okay. Some people say 80 is okay. But everybody kind of agrees that like 70 is like good. So this is the first when I got locked up at 70.
Congratulations, young man.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
So what you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, the ARV is like 340, and it's worth 340, and I got it at 160, but it needs like a full rehab.
Full rehab is how much? The full rehab can be shit, 70, 80 grand. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking 80 grand.
All right, so it's worth. Let's do the numbers. Yeah. So the ARV is what now?
340.
RV 340K, and Renault's 80K.
Yeah, Renault's 80, and the purchase price is 160.
80K. Purchase. Oh shoot, purchase. Oh, y'all can't see this. Sorry about that. Oh, can you see this? Can y'all see my screen? Jared, can you see the screen?
I usually pause it when I call.
Oh, all right. I'll just blow it up. Don't worry about it, brother. We're going to run Jared's numbers. Are we running numbers, Jared, or are you just asking me a quick question?
Oh, no, you could go to the numbers and give me some feedback.
Purchase price 160.
But does that sound typical?
Huh?
Yeah, 160.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 160.
All right. So holding, closing, cost going to be 34K. All right, so we got 340. Let me do this. Let's run the numbers, dog. Numbers don't lie.
If they don't.
Numbers can't lie. They can't lie. 340 minus 80 minus 160 minus 34. Oh, sorry about this, y'all. It's supposed to be a K right there. Looks like you got 66 left on that. So your profit be profit.
66.
Yeah, that sounds
good.
So
would that give Chris a stamp of approval?
Yeah, we would be interested in buying that one now. You can't necessarily. This is a start, but let's say this thing is in a war zone, right, Jared? So you can't always just go by the numbers. It just doesn't work like that, brother.
This is it's in like northern Deep Creek, in Chesapeake.
Yeah,
that's the name of that specific area.
Northern Deep Creek. I have to look at the whole thing. Sounds like that might be like an industrial area?
No, not really.
Okay. But it sounds like based on the numbers.
But it's like Yeah, it's like right south of like Portsmouth.
Okay. I mean, it sounds close to me, brother. I mean, I would have to look at the whole thing, but the numbers look okay to me. What did you have in mind? You going to wholesale it or are you going to do it?
I'm looking at the wholesaler if I can. If I couldn't find a buyer, then I'd try to do it myself.
Okay.
I would just close it myself.
Yeah, there you go, bro. Close it yourself and fix it. I mean, you could either, huh?
Do you work with wholesalers first?
Yeah, we buy from wholesalers all the time, buddy. Did you email it to me already?
Okay.
I mean, we can close it in a week. It's nothing. I mean, this is what we do. But I mean, did you email it to my team already?
No, I haven't emailed it.
Yeah, send it over. You got the pictures?
Yeah, so the main thing, yeah, I got some pictures, yeah.
Cool.
Got some pictures. The main thing is it was unwalkable. When you come in, the trash and yeah, the hoarding, everything was like up to like my chest. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. So some of the rooms were like so like full to the ceiling with hoarded,
so
materials.
It's a hoarder house. Where did you come up with 80? Because it could be 100, it could be 110. I mean, what gave you 80 grand for the rental if you didn't walk it?
No, I did walk it. So what I do is I have like a little spreadsheet that I use that kind of like automates it like a little bit.
Okay.
So I basically just put that it needed everything. So it needed full flooring, kitchen, bath, bedrooms, HVAC, water heaters, siding, paint, windows, trash. And so basically that's the most major things to me. I'm hoping that it doesn't have any like structural issues. To me, that's what will like put it over 100 is if it had structural, I'm assuming, or termites or something like that.
That's right. Got a termite letter? Did you get your termite report?
No. I just signed the contract yesterday. So
okay.
The ink is still wet.
Cool.
But yeah. So what's the the nastiest house that you've been into and purchased?
Man, I can't even, Jared. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to forget about the nastiness, dog. I'm trying to forget about this stuff. I got maggots on the kitchen counter. I went to one the other day. They got dog poop in the living room. I can't. I don't want to. I try to forget them as soon as I see them. So.
Okay, but when you go into, you don't allow it to affect your analysis of it. I mean, obviously, there's some cleanup aspect to it. Like, what's the most expensive trash out you've had to pay for? I was thinking this may be like north of 5,000.
I believe so. If it's full of stuff, let's just say you got 5 dumpsters. That's almost $3 grand just in dumpsters. You got to people don't like. You got to pay these guys, brother. Contractors don't like dealing with nastiness. They don't mind swinging a hammer and doing wood and sheetrock and painting and all that, ripping out a kitchen cabinet. They don't mind that. But when it comes to nasty, the price starts to go like this.
Yeah, ain't no telling what's in there either, man. It's definitely
I know what's in there.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's poop and pee and yeah. So send it over, man. We'll get you an offer, dog. So we're looking now. We're ready to know. I could close it by Friday if we need to. Is that fair?
Oh, I didn't even mention that it's actually a 2-part deal. They have basically 2 houses that were like almost the same.
Okay.
The same price, but the other one I'm wholesaling with another guy, so I'm working on. He's bringing like a buyer for me.
All right.
But the other one I'm trying to do something with myself.
Okay.
But yeah, I can send it over.
Send it on over, my brother. As an honor, I appreciate you for thinking about us over here, the old boy.
All right, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you in a minute. Peace.
All right, take care.
Dan says he's trying to get in 20 minutes. I don't see you on here, brother. Dan, I don't see you. I sent you a new link, Dan. I sent you one link, then I sent you a new link. Let's call Dan. Y'all don't mind if we call Dan real quick? Why does Dan always give me such a I don't know. I don't know what it is. I tell you, I do not know. Let me give him a hard time today. How you like that, Mr. Dan Borrero? Mr. I'm big.
Well, you just sent me that new link.
Dad, you got the link?
Yeah, I just got it.
Bye. Y'all pray for me, please. Pray for me. I don't know. Damn. Okay. I'm controlling who comes on this thing. And I control who talks about it. I'm gonna mute you.
I want everyone here to know I think he wanted to rob the show tonight all by himself. Been here for 20 minutes. I was ready to say call it a night, go hang out in my yard.
You see, Dan Borrero thinks that everybody needs to read his emails. But if you send him an email, he doesn't have to read it till the next couple of days or two. That's how we roll. Dan Borrero, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Borrero. How you doing, brother?
Mr. Haskins, tell me what you guys have covered so we don't cover it again.
Yeah, really not. I took a call. I was talking about Dan. For me, when I first started earning, I was focused solely on earning, right? And I was like, if I could I want to be most people, if you would ask them, they want to be a millionaire, right? But I believe none of us actually ask ourselves, what are you going to do with it? What is it going to be? What are you going to do with it after you get it? Right? I just think we don't even consider that. We just like, man, I just need to get here and I'm done. So talk about your journey and understanding that.
To be honest with you, man, considering, I think that's legit. That's a legitimate issue. Like, because if somebody came to me and said, when I become a millionaire, I'm going to do this with it, I'd be like, yo, how about concentrating on becoming a millionaire first? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other thing is what's going to make what makes you feel rich? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Because I see money doesn't change people; it just amplifies who they are.
That's right.
Do you agree with that, Chris? It
does, but I believe you can recognize it and change it. Like I see you, I want to make sure I'm crystal clear. Dan works harder than me. I'm gonna tell y'all honestly, and I say that because I don't be Dan. He doesn't want to be me. I'm like, if somebody like Dan worked, I saw he worked 11 hours yesterday. I was in Maryland with my daughter putting her on a plane going to Australia. I'm like, all of us have different things. It's no way I'm working 11 hours on a Saturday. I just can't do it.
Yeah, and I look at it like if I work 11 hours on a Saturday, I don't have to work crazy hours during the week, or I'm not as stressful during the week because I got everything out of the way. I can concentrate strictly on my business. Why? Because especially on a Saturday holiday weekend, everybody's partying, everybody's barbecuing, everyone's out doing things with the family. And there's nothing wrong with that. My kids are adults. I could do that now. Right? So I look at it like it's my opportunity to outperform my competition. Because my competition is at a barbecue. My competition is at a ball game. My competition is enjoying the holiday, right? Now, on Monday, when my competition gets to work, they're starting to crank up the wheels again after having 4 days off. My wheels are already cranked. My entire schedule is already done for the next 2 weeks. So it puts me ahead of my competition. I tell people all the time, I says, when people say, well, how do I'm successful? I said, because of my intensity. I outwork my competition. You don't listen. I'm a special ed kid. I'm a severe dyslexic. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up in a rich house. I grew up across the street from the projects, and I had the worst educational system, New York City Board of Ed. If I could do this, anybody can. But I put on blinders and I'm willing to go work.
But then I don't want people to feel bad. And I think in this grind culture that we have, people feel bad if they're not working. And I'm like, Dan, they're not working. And I have guilty too. I'm like, I don't want to be the richest guy in the graveyard. I don't need to be the richest dude when I go on my deathbed. That's not what I'm looking for. But Dan is at a place in his life where he has paid for his kids' education. He's put in the time.
Oh yeah, all my kids graduated from college with no debt. Actually, if you look back there, there's 5 degrees back there.
That's admirable.
Yeah, the truth is this, guys. I still work this hard because I still have a lot more to prove. Right? Look, the truth. Think about it, Chris. we as entrepreneurs, we're crazy people. Like when people tell me they want to be an entrepreneur, I'll say, well, how crazy are you? Because you're not real crazy. You're not going to be successful. You got to be crazy to be an entrepreneur. Think about this. You leaving a 40-hour-week job with a pension, with medical benefits, to go work 80 hours with no guarantees, no unemployment check if it doesn't work. You know, you got to be crazy to do what we do.
It is. It's nonstop, man. And it's never off. That's one thing I had to come. It's never like, okay, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's never really off. You can always do something.
Yeah.
Like it's always something. My wife's like, when are you going to be done? I'm like, it's never done. It's never done.
Never done.
There is no done.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room this week, man. That big, beautiful tax bill that Trump passed with Congress.
Yeah, I haven't unpacked it yet, Dan, but I'm gonna follow your lead because I had some other things. But let's go ahead.
No, if you want to go through that stuff that you have, let's do that.
I want to see what you got. Well, real quick, let me just show you this. Go
ahead.
Housing market. I want to talk to you about. Finally, we're looking at and Dan, you got so much to unpack in New York. 80,000 units. Now they're saying it costs more than twice as much per month as renting to own. That's what the big thing is. Why I want to talk about.
I think that all depends on where you're at in the country. Right now, in parts of Florida, it's actually cheaper to buy than to pay rent.
They're talking generally, you know.
Yeah, I think it all depends on which county, and I think we're getting a lot of contradicting information, right? Like they just came out and said that there was I don't remember exactly what the government said, that there was more jobs added to in this quarter, the last quarter, there were more jobs added to the I wouldn't say unemployment, to employment, right? Where people are working
to the GDP
that was expected. But then
but what kind of jobs?
Not only they're not discussing what kind of jobs, but you know, ADP, the company that actually one of the biggest payroll companies in the country, says they lost 30,000 jobs. So yeah, that's a major contradictory. You don't think?
Unbelievable, man.
Isn't that major?
That is major, dog.
You know, I think we need to really look at where the information is coming from.
That's true. Well, these people here, they went to the Fannie and Freddie. I just think, man, we are in for a serious ride over this next. And anybody could agree with that. We're in for a ride, dog. Whether you pro or anti-Trump. Gabe says, Dan, any experience renting out unpermitted rooms that was added to a primary residence?
So I've never done that. I know plenty of people who have.
What's an unpermitted room? Like a living room you turn into a bedroom?
I guess, yeah, pretty much. The truth in the matter, I know people who've made apartments in their basements. Also, that were illegal. Now, my experience here in the city of New York, this is not the experience everywhere in the country. I've seen it happen multiple times when I've been in court. So guys, when I got to go to court, in the beginning, I always used to go to court when I was evicting a tenant. I don't do it anymore. I send my attorneys unless I see there's something going on where the tenant's getting way too much leeway. Then I'm going to go to court the next time. I want to see what the hell my attorney's doing or if he's selling me out, right? So I sit in the front row and I'm listening to all the cases. And that's your education.
That's right.
You want to learn the system in an area you want to buy in, go to housing court.
Sit your butt down.
Sit your ass right in the front row and go to different judges. Go sit in what they call them parts. In New York City, each courtroom is called a part, B-A-R-T. Go to different part.
Well, we had this courtrooms A, B, C, or D.
Okay, well, you could go to those.
Everyone's different.
And you could see the personalities of each judge.
It's never boring. I have not once had a boring time in there, Dan.
Right? And you'd be like, damn, they could get away with that? You're like, oh, like you'd be like, oh, damn, that hurt, right?
Yo.
It's like watching
It's like watching a movie.
It's like watching a fist fight, bro. Like sometimes it's like, whoa, like damn, that bitch just got smacked up. Like, you know, like you be like, whoa.
Yo, Dan, you are so right. He'll say something, you'll look like, did he just say what I know he didn't just say 30 days? Wow.
And then you'll see, like, eventually you'll see similar court cases, different judges, and then they'll rule differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, yo, but that other judge just said no, like, and this guy just said yes, and like, so you want to learn.
That's a good tip, Dan. Just one day Dan. That's so weird. I haven't done that. Sometimes I'll just in the middle of the day, let's just go. I have taken my daughters in there because they're like, is this like Judge Judy? And they're listening. They're listening to these rulings. They're like, can they do that? I'm like, yeah. Now you got to go back and wait 60 days. Man, Dan, that was a phenomenal tip right there, bro.
I'll give you one better. Sit in the hallway. That's where you really see the action.
Oh, the deals.
The deal making, the screaming, the cursing, the yelling, the accusations.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see which attorneys are cool, which aren't. That's one of the ways I pick my attorneys. I go sit in the hallway. It's like watching a TV, right? It's like, it's like when you're a little kid going to watch Bonanza. You're like, the only thing you need to bring is your popcorn.
It is never boring. And Dan, when I see landlords getting destroyed, I'm just like, oh, I learned not to do that. I never forget the first time I found out that if a tenant says they got COVID, they get an automatic continuance. It's like no matter what.
New York City don't even come back for a year, bro.
For COVID?
Yeah. They were still pulling that shit last year, bro.
Yo, what's crazy was the tenant didn't show up. The landlord was like, Your Honor, let me guess. They got COVID, right? He knew what the tenant was doing. So y'all gotta be on top of the game.
Look, getting back to the renting out illegal rooms or
my bad.
Guys, listen up. Half the time it's gonna catch up on you. If you get away with it, good for you. But the 50% of the people that get caught up with it suffer.
Dan and I we got a client that got a fire and they are in big trouble, man.
Got another client. We have somebody else, Chris, in an Ultimate Landlord Warrior that became an Ultimate Landlord Warrior from the mastermind class. Guys, sign up for the waiting list. We're launching the next one in September.
That's right.
And, he had an illegal apartment in the basement. He lived on the first floor, and on the second floor, the tenant, when he took the tenant to court for non-payment, took him 8 months to get her into court in New York for a preliminary hearing. And then it took him another 2 months to get in front of the judge. First thing the tenant said was he got an illegal apartment in the basement. Judge ordered a buildings apartment. The only time I ever see the buildings apartment move that quick, within 5 days that were there, they found the illegal apartment to be true. Judge said to the tenant, hey, how long you been paying rent? She said 3 years. You live there now for 3 more years without paying rent. Even though she lived on the last floor, had nothing to do with the basement apartment. And so she got away with, basically he paid her, she was up to, I think, 15 months of
not
payment. And he paid her the other, I think another 16 months, 18 months of rent just to get out.
Wow, Dan.
Because he couldn't get rid of the apartment below neither. They refused to leave, and they stopped paying him rent.
So the moral of the story is what, Dan?
Do it right.
I can't tell you, man. These permits, you will be glad that you took that extra time in the long run. Now, is it going to be a pain in the ass in the short run?
Yes.
Absolutely. But if you go back, I'm telling you, dude, when you show that paperwork, you say, look, I did this, you're covered. You are cut. It ain't did my best, right? I see Dan's face all the time. I did, when Dan, then it feels so good to say, look, I got boom, 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 boom. That's not on me.
Well, there's a question. Brad says, brand new, trying to buy my first rental property using the HELOC.
Good for you, John. Good for you.
I start with an LLC. You want to? I'll let you answer that, and I'll put in my 2 cents.
They'll start with it. I don't care if you start in your name, a trust, LLC, whatever. I want you to get a property. A lot of times we play business, right? Because you can always transfer it out of your name to the LLC. Let's go look for a property as opposed to trying to worry about getting entities put together. That's where I'm at.
Listen, I'm gonna be putting up a post where it says, and I thought about this as a result of someone else asking me a question in yesterday's live. I no longer chase deals. I chase the business of doing deals.
I love it. Break that down, Dan.
And
People don't want to talk about that. They don't want to do that.
What that says is understand the business before you chase the deal or before you buy the deal. Have your process procedures in place and understand the deal, the business. Because if you don't understand the business, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And I'll give you a case in point. If you have a home and you can take a home equity loan and that's the only money you have, you should not be investing that money in the stock market or in real estate. Home equity loans, Chris has one. I don't even, okay, Chris and I have never spoken about this. I have one. Chris, do you have a home equity loan?
Yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I got $250,000.
Okay.
No, I got a line. I have a line. Home equity line.
It's an equity line.
Still a loan, yeah.
Right. It's a HELOC. I've got 750,000 against my house. I have no mortgage, guys. I haven't had a mortgage in 15 years. My HELOC and Chris's HELOC, we never use it as an end game. We use it as a bridge loan. You want to explain to them what that means, Chris?
Yes, we use it to do whatever deal we're doing, or whatever transaction, whatever that time is, and then we put it back. Put it back. We gotta put it back. So you lose the game if you keep it out.
Yeah, let's say I wanted to buy a house for 100, but I need 200 to fix it. I'm gonna take it out of my HELOC because now I'm telling the buyer, hey, listen, I'm buying outright cash. Yeah, somebody else can give you 125. You gotta hope they get their mortgage. I'm gonna give you 100 cash. Look, here's my proof of funds, right in my line of credit.
Boom.
Right?
Over.
So now we got the deal. But now I need 200 to fix the deal. I already know that I'm going to use the 200. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to use the 100 to buy it, and then I'm going to go refinance it 6 months later after it's renovated and rented. That I could show the bank that there's income. Right?
Or he's selling it. You're renting it, or he's selling it.
Or I'm selling. So if I'm selling it, if I'm invested 300 with that kind of work for 6 months, I'm not walking away with less than 150 profit. Otherwise, it's not worth it to me. Because remember, I have to give half of it to the government, Uncle Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we use it as a bridge loan. If we're keeping it, I already know that it's going to be worth 600 when I'm done. I'm going to go to the bank and say, hey, bank, I need 300,000. Bank's going to say, on a refinance, to cash out so I can pay back my home equity line. Now that property is going to sit with it by itself. It's going to be totally responsible for itself.
Self-sustaining.
My home equity line is paid off. You don't want to screw around with the house that your family lives in. That's your home.
Yeah.
Now,
take some wisdom.
I didn't do that until I did my 10th or 12th deal because I didn't feel confident enough.
Scary, man.
That's your home. That's your home. Okay? Think long and hard about that.
That's right. Especially we don't have a money problem, man. We got a strategy problem. Someone special. Do we see anything wrong with buying my first investment property in South Bend, Indiana? I like that cheaper market. Okay, but I don't live there. Where do you live, someone special?
I don't have a problem with anybody investing out of state. What I have a problem is people investing, whether out of state or in their own backyards, without having developed a skill set to manage that property. You need the education first because you're going to get robbed if you. Well, first and foremost, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. The difference is with the education, your mistakes are a lot smaller.
They get minimized.
Right. When you don't take the time out to educate yourself, those mistakes could put you back years.
Put you all out of business.
Yeah.
Put you out of business. I'm not mad at investing out of state. I don't know, man. I just think unless you have a solid team, investing out of state can really, really keep you up at night.
Yeah, look, you want to learn how to do that.
Tell them, Dan, you on a plane. You doing this for 20 some years and you're still on a plane.
I'm not on a plane as much because I haven't been back up until 2017, 18. We were doing about 180 closings a year. From 2010 to 2018, we were averaging, depending on the year, between 150 to 180 closings a year.
But you still been on a plane? You been in Florida?
I was on a plane 2 or 3 times a month. It was a horrible life, right? But I knew that there was an end goal to that,
which was
the cash flow that we were making with the fix and flips. We were turning around and buying our long-term hold properties with no mortgages,
offense and defense. Y'all hear that?
So now
it's all offense,
right? It's all cash flow now, right? But the point is, it took me and my brother almost 2 years to come up with a solid team in Florida. In Jersey, it took us about 9 months, but we were on the ground. But in Florida, it took me 2 years. And then the other thing is almost 2 years. The other thing is you got to remember when you develop a team, and Chris, I know you're going to back me up with this. The players are going to change every year.
Oh yeah, you can't be leaning on one dude or two dudes. They change. Their lives change. Their situations change. They get sick. They get married. Their wife doesn't want them to. It could be a million things.
Sickness, divorce.
Crazy. They got another job. They got a full-time gig. They can't work on your stuff. They got they got more house dip. Shit, man.
Same thing with realtors. Same thing with accountants. Same thing with expediters, carpenters,
everybody,
painters, everybody. Every relationship on a team has an expiration date. So you constantly have to understand team members are going to change. And sometimes you may think you got the perfect team member to come in and replace the old one, but then you find that the personalities don't match. And you don't want one apple to disrupt the entire cart. So guess what? You're gone.
That's a good point, Dan. They be good and maybe they be terrible. You don't know. Listen, in the chat, y'all, help people. Look at this. People volunteering and y'all networking. There you go. That's what we love. Dan and I love. We're not here to just I think that's what makes it. We're not here to just make you all guys come here and be ultimate real estate investors. Use this free stuff. We do this because we love you guys. We want to see y'all succeed. I'm gonna tell you, I want y'all to succeed so y'all don't have to rob me when I'm walking down the street. I want y'all to make your own money, and then when my kids get older, y'all help my kids out. Listen, call in with your questions, 757-204-1332. Big, beautiful bill, Dan. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off on that.
Hold on.
John Bob,
so
thank you for your advice. I was looking to use a HELOC, but keeping it under the value of my crypto just to cover my bases. Go ahead, Dan. I don't know what that is.
Big, beautiful. What is it called? The Big
Beautiful Bill.
I kind of even embarrassed even saying the name of it, to be honest.
Wow. Why, Dan?
Big, beautiful bill. Come on. You couldn't come up with a better name than that?
Dan, I be telling people all the time, I didn't vote for the guy, but he's going to benefit me way more than most. I'm like, Dan, caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
And Dana from St. Louis.
Hey.
How are you, Dana James?
All right.
Ultimate real estate investors. What up?
Two quick. One is Chris. We have an ad for our lease option. We want to know what is a good place to advertise that, so we can get the maximum exposure. And the other one is you guys think about you're going to talk about it with the big other bill, is that how it's going to impact impact Section 8. What do you think about that?
Let me do this. Okay, the big ugly bill. I like that. You were a mess for that. Let me look on market. Let me show my screen real quick because you guys are ultimate real estate investors. Y'all mastermind, right?
Yep.
Right.
We missed y'all. We got a caller on you. Y'all hold tight on the calls. I'm getting 3 or 4 calls at a time. What am I doing? We can do this on office hours this week. We can go over this stuff during office hours, James and Dana.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that during office hours, James, so we could actually break down the deal and analyze it for you.
You want to do that?
Okay. All right. Good.
What am I doing?
And I want everybody to understand, James and Dana, we have a community called the Ultimate Real Estate Investors. And the only way to get into that community is if you take the class, the Ultimate Landlord Warrior. So they took that class. They are now part of the Ultimate Real Estate Investor, where we have office hours once a week. We meet up twice a week. We do 2 free meetups a year. So, if you're interested in that, please sign up for our next mastermind class in September. I think the link is below, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it's in the show notes below. I'm just looking here. Dana, James, I want to unpack this. I want to give you all what I'm looking at here, but it's going to take a little more time than we've got tonight. But yes, if you go back through your course outline, I've got some copy there you could steal from it. But we'll go over that. We'll email you the office hours for this week. I believe it's either
what is it?
Tuesday or Wednesday at 12. But we're going to give you that. But we'll unpack that and get you all covered for that.
Yep, for sure.
All right.
Good. Sounds good.
And we are going to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much.
We'll talk about the bill now.
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll be there.
All right. Peace. Good to hear y'all.
I think someone else is trying to come on. Let's take that
Call
call.
from
Got 1 million. Did they go? Hello? Oh, they gone. I don't understand. When one person calls, I get 5 calls in a row.
Yeah, guys, please call back in. We'll take your call.
Yeah, call back in. We'll take your call. James and Dana, we're going to give you, I don't want to give you some halfway. You guys are paying for coaching. So
yeah, let's give them the real stuff. That's why I said let's do it on office hours.
No doubt. Okay.
Guys, so look.
Dana, the big ugly bill.
Depends which side of the aisle you're on, right?
Section 8. I don't think, my thing is Trump and his boys own all the real estate. Why would he cut himself off? I don't even know why this is even I don't know.
I think Section 8 is going to be affected.
How? Forget the personnel, and cutting back staff. We know that's going to happen.
I think it's going to be affected because of all the cutting back of staff at minimal. It's going to create a lot of delays.
I can live with that.
Yeah, it's going to create a lot of delays.
I'm not mad at that. So,
look, the reality is this. I put up a post and everyone's saying, oh, you must be a Trump supporter. They're calling me all kinds of names because...
They would know you.
Because...
They must not know you.
They don't know me, right? Because you're calling me all kinds of names because, you're all happy you'll make more money, but... these poor people are going to not get their food.
It's not about us.
Medicaid.
This is not about us.
Look, this is the truth. Whenever there's a new presidency, there's always disruption. Yeah. And there's going to be people that are not going to be happy with the disruption, and there's going to be people that are going to be happy with it, right? I personally believe that this bill is not good in general in the overall, for the masses or the country. It's going to add something like how many trillions of dollars of debt over the next 10 years, right? Which to me is like mind-boggling because I read an article where they said Doge got rid of over 50,000 government jobs. How is it that we can't slow down the deficit if we got rid of over 50,000 jobs, right? So, and again, like I said, you got to always be wary about where you're getting this information from. Right. So the deal is this. Chris and we're going to save a shitload of money in taxes.
I already see it coming.
But for those people that are not at our level, or actually not anybody that's a real estate investor is going to save a lot of money. I don't
call it 1 second. 1 second, caller. Hold the line.
So now the question becomes this. Are you going to let a guy sitting in the White House who's being served hand and feet? He don't shine his shoes. He don't cook a meal. He don't drive his car. He don't wash his clothes. He don't make his bed. Does he know what it is to get up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work and sit in traffic and be on a roof in the heat fighting with your contractor while they're trying to rob you, or a tenant that doesn't want to pay you, or your worker not doing what a good day's work after you're paying him $350 a day? Like, he don't understand that.
He is against your mayor, though, Dan. I got to give it to him on that.
Actually, no.
He was like, we need to get rid of this guy.
No, he wants to get rid of the guy who just got the nomination on
the new guy.
Party.
Yeah, I'm saying, he doesn't like that guy.
Who would? The guy's calling himself, he calls himself a democratic socialist. I'm afraid of him.
Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. State your name and where you're calling from, please. Oh, shoot. Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. State your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm Tom.
Tom,
can you hear me?
Yeah, Tom from where?
Yeah. Hey, all right, I'm on. Tom from Baltimore.
What's going on from Baltimore?
Baltimore. Y'all got some tumultuous stuff going on up there, too.
Well, what's going on in Baltimore? I'll tell you what. My question is revolved around the situation that happened. I'm not quite sure the details, but some note buyers just pulled the plug on everything in regards to Baltimore a week or two ago in the process of refinancing a duplex. And I got the appraisal and everything, and I'm ready to go. And boom, they said, bad news. Our banks are done. And so I'm learning the truth here. I'm learning that dealing with a broker ain't exactly always the best because they don't have the money. And they said, we found you a bank to work with that will refinance in your zip code in Baltimore, but I get another appraisal. I went, I want to do that because I like number and I paid the fee. So let's find a way to do it. So basically, my question to you guys is, should I be working with brokers in the future or go directly to banks and shop around myself and be my own broker? Because I'm realizing that things like this can happen and brokers can't help me out.
Well, Tom, I got to tell you, I've had to do 2 appraisals before. I don't think it's the end of the world. Dan, have you?
Yeah, that's happening.
Tom, I don't want to make it sound like, unfortunately, he who has the gold makes the rules. I had to get over that, man. And with these lenders,
that would be the bank then, right?
Yes. With these lenders, you got to sometimes pull your big boy draws up and be like, you know what? I never forget. My mentor was like, I'm a big boy. I can handle what you got, right? No emotion, no type of physical, nothing emotional about it. You need another appraisal? Cool. $500 in the trash. Sometimes it happens like that. Dan?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I actually prefer to go to a mortgage broker rather than the bank because the bank only has that one product. And many times it used to happen to me in the beginning where we go through the whole process and right before we're ready to go to close, the underwriter comes up with some other bullshit or another
from the
reason
bank. From the bank.
Yeah. Whereas when you have a mortgage broker, they have relationships with different banks with different products, so they could immediately move that paperwork over, and they have contacts where they could push it over quicker to the new bank and get the process done quicker. So yes, is it going to be more expensive than you going directly to the bank? Most of the time, yes. But they're doing a service that expedites it tremendously on your behalf, assuming you go to an honest mortgage broker. Remember, guys, mortgage brokers are like used car lot salesmen. It's like they're gonna sell.
Well, in regards to what you said about,
go ahead, Tom.
I guess in regards to what you said about the bank and do this or that, correct me if I'm wrong, but like when a broker talks to a bank, those banks and underwriters can do X, Y, Z like a lending bank would, right?
I'm not sure I understand that question. Do you, Chris?
You were saying something along the lines of if you deal directly with the bank, they can pull something out in the hour with underwriting and all that stuff. Whereas with a broker, they have this and that. But the underwriters, the brokers work with, can't they also pull out those same?
Yeah, you got 2 layers. You got the brokers' problems, and then you got the bank's problems. So you got to go through 2 layers when you're dealing with brokers, bro.
Yeah, but the brokers are cleaning up your.
I guess what I'm dealing with.
Your brokers are cleaning up your paperwork and making it marketable.
That's true. That's true.
Right? So yeah, they're gonna have somebody working as an underwriter for them so that they could prepare it with an underwriter's mentality. But it's the lender's underwriter that's gonna give you the problem, right? But the truth of the matter is that is the environment we're living in. This happened to me a year ago. I was on my way to a closing an hour and a half away, and I get a phone call while I'm looking for a parking spot. The bank just pulled the funds.
For you or for your buyer?
For the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was there except me. I was just walking in there to sign the final documents.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're describing is in this
What was their reason?
It's typical.
It's very typical.
It doesn't even matter, Tom. This shit happens all the time.
The bank in that scenario. What was the reason in that scenario on the day of closing?
In that, you know what? If I told you, I'd be lying to you.
It doesn't even matter.
It's happened to me a couple of times, and I don't remember. Maybe one time it was the husband just changed jobs and he didn't tell the bank, and because he hadn't been at the new job for more than so many months.
It could be a million things: a car, a credit card, a hospital bill.
I'll give you one better. Another time they went and bought furniture for the whole house.
It could be anything, Dan. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Tom, yes, you should.
I guess in regards to the appraisal fee, the appraisal fee is one thing, but I like the number. It was actually above what my ARV was, and I like it. I'm just worried if I get another appraisal with another appraiser, it's not as high, and my deal's not going to work out. So I kind of want to.
Okay, the rule of thumb in the business is appraisers should not be off by more than 10%.
It should be close. Yeah, it should
be no more off than 10%.
Tom, I'm gonna let you go, man. Good talking to you, buddy.
Chris, somebody's asking.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Someone's asking if you could put up the number to call in.
Yeah, I gotta take it down. No one calls, and then I get 6 calls that back to back. Y'all, why do y'all do that to me? Why do you do that to me?
While we're waiting for another call, let me just say this. I want to finish up what I was saying earlier about this tax bill. The reality is this: if you are self-employed, if you are a real estate investor, you're going to save a lot of money in this tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 9-to-5 person, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
If you are unemployed, if you're retired, if you're on SSI, the disability, you're going to hurt. Now, I want everyone to truly understand this. In the United States of America, less than 60% of the people actually work in the country.
Wow.
Of that 60 or like 58%, so let's round it off to 60. Of that 60%, 25% of that are actually government workers. And that could be municipal workers like city, township, state, county, federal workers, right?
Wow.
Think about this, guys.
That's a lot.
Right? That brings you down to 35% of the entire country paying for everybody. Because government workers get paid from tax dollars. So 35%, yes, government workers do pay taxes, but they ain't paying their salaries. They're paying a portion of their salary. So you're asking 35% of the people in the country to pay for everybody.
Wow.
Doesn't that sound crazy?
Wow, that's deep.
Right? So, and I'm not defending this bill by no means. I'm not defending this bill. This bill has a lot of inequality. It's not fair. It's not a fair bill in many ways. That doesn't mean Chris and I are not going to take the tax benefits that are afforded to us, because there have been many years. I've been self-employed since '85, and there were a lot of years that I got hit over the head with taxes. Nobody
weird, Dan. When I think about my self-directed Roth IRA loophole, when I do those deals and I don't pay taxes on them, I don't think about black or white. You know, I just think about how can I maximize the deal to not pay taxes. And when you're doing your 1031 exchange, right? These fools, yo, man, it comes at a certain time where you got to play the money game. It's just a game.
And there's some things in there. Look, if you're an elderly couple, you pass away, You've had the house for the last 50 years. House is worth, if it's in New York City, $2 million, right? You have 2 kids. You didn't do a trust. Now with this new tax bill, your kids ain't gonna have to pay any taxes on it because they could inherit up to $12 million tax free.
They're raising it up,
right? Assuming it was a couple. If it was one person, then it was I think 6 million or 6.5 million. Something like that. But there are some benefits, but you know, the truth is, this bill is really unfair.
I believe it.
You know, but right, Chris and I'm not going to take the benefits of these tax benefits. We would be irresponsible if we did it.
You know, it's not even me, Chris or Dan. It's our accountants. I mean, it ain't like I don't do my own taxes. They're going to go in there. They're going to say you get this automatically.
Yeah, you know what? I want to go a little deeper on this, Chris, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
The SALT tax. Before Trump's first tax bill in his first administration, you were able to deduct your real estate taxes. Like, for instance, let's say us in New York City, and you could, this is comparable to anyone in the country. I was able to deduct my real estate taxes on my house. I was able to deduct the real estate taxes assuming I had another, like a vacation house. I didn't. I don't. But let's just say I did. I could deduct that. I was able to deduct the interest on my home equity line. I was able to deduct the interest on my mortgage. I was able to deduct the taxes I paid to the city, the taxes I paid to the state. That all went out the window with Trump's last bill. The SALT tax said you get up to $10,000. That's it. But instead of us giving you, I think, $2,500 per person as a dependent, we're going to give you per adult, you know, your husband and wife, $12,500. So you can deduct up to $25,000 plus the SALT. That's another $10,000. That's $35,000. But before I used to deduct $80,000. So I said, hold on a second. Cool. I see what's coming. Call up my account.
They move it around here and take it there.
Right. What do we need to do? Oh, you need to put this in a trust. You need to put this in an LLC. You need to put this in a S corp. Guess what? Now my wife goes to church because we used to be able to deduct donations. She writes a check from my company. Now it's a deduction, but it used to be a deduction before his last tax bill. So whatever we donated to our church was a deduction, charitable deduction. No longer. When I donate to my college alma mater, you know, my old college, I donate from one of my businesses. It's a deduction now.
I always do
Instead
that.
of donating from my. So what I'm saying to everyone is, you know, learn the game, guys. Take the time out, do the research, so that it doesn't hurt you. Like what I was trying to say earlier. I don't care who the president is. I make money. I made money under Ronald Reagan. I made money under Bush Sr. I made money under Clinton. I made money under Bush Jr. I made a shitload of money under Obama. I made money under Trump's first administration. I made a lot of money again under Biden, and I'm going to make money again under this Trump administration.
We got to get out of here, Dan. It's 9 o'clock.
Chris and I, do we care? Chris, do you care who the president is? Are you going to allow the president to determine your financial wealth?
Oh, no, I can't do that.
No,
I can't do that.
We vote based on our social issues, our concerns. We're not voting on economic concerns.
Yeah, we're going to be.
We're going to pivot. We're like the Marines. That's what entrepreneurs do. We pivot. We adjust.
You better, or you'll be adjusted out of the window. Listen, guys, Ultimate Landlord Survival is going to be in September. Make sure you join up on our waiting list in the video description below. Join our email list just in general. You need to have it so we can stay in touch with you and share this information with other people that are trying to get into the real estate business. Dan is one of my mentors, and we love to look. We will be together July 19th. VIP location it will not be disclosed publicly. But if you're an ultimate real estate investor or you're in Dan's Ultimate Unleashed, you'll get that address and the location within the next few days.
You know, guys,
in New York City.
I want you guys to know I just put up I just put up the link for my mentorship class. It's free every Wednesday. We do have the Mentorship Unleashed. For those of you that get that, you do come to we're doing a free meetup for the Mentorship Unleashed and for the Ultimate Landlord Warrior community. So that's going to be, again, like he said, on the 19th. Chris, the place we got is really cool, bro.
That's so
Overlooking
nice.
the Statue of Liberty.
Oh wow! I cannot wait. I love the city, dog. Dan,
so it's gonna be cool. You're gonna have Kris Haskins coming all the way from Hampton, Virginia, guys.
I'm in Chesapeake now. I moved from Hampton. I'm in a place called Chesapeake now. So we moved from Hampton.
So the point is, you're gonna,
forget flying in, y'all.
Forget that you're gonna come in and hang out with us, but you get to hang out with Chris face to face. That's number one. Right. Number two,
get that energy.
And the best part is you may meet your next business partner there, your next contractor, your next electrician, your next plumber, because we got all kinds of people that are part of our community
in a circle.
You may even meet your next private lender there.
You might meet your next wife, like I did. I met my wife at a thing. Darn it! We'll take one quick one. This got to be a quickie, y'all. This be a quickie, Dan. Call us, state your name and where you're calling from, quickly.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. I wanted to say,
who are you? Name and where you're calling
from. Mike from the Philly area. Remember the commercial property guy? I remember.
I remember you. You on the ball. What you got, Mike?
Nah, I just wanted. Dan is on one tonight. It's kind of good. He's hitting them from bases. Like you said. I love what he said about.
What he say? He broke up, Chris.
Getting hit over here with taxes and everything has been going against it. Because even though this bill is super unfair, right? At the end of the day, we still got to be able to benefit from the opportunity that's coming our way. Once in the blue moon, we get this one opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say with the other guy earlier, with Dan again was on point with that one. The guy with the broker, you got to be able to say what?
We're listening.
You broke up. What are you saying?
I'm sorry. You got to be able to have with the broker. You got to be able to have multiple ways to be able to close that deal. Yep. I don't deal with the banks anymore. I only deal with brokers. You can't. Like Dan said, and you said the same thing. You get to a close. How many times you got to a close where the buyer, he deposited $10 extra in his account. They mess around and the deal is we can't, and the last thing on that, again with Dan, and when you do a property outside your comfort zone, like say the person was saying we're going to do one out of the state. Every state has different rules when it comes to landlord-tenant, but not even landlord-tenant, license and inspection. So what you're able to do is, with the code, your state and your city and your municipality may not, just 10 miles across the border may not watch. People stay in your lane. When you start to make money, focus on making money. Don't say, I'm going to spend this tomorrow. Like y'all gave a good point. What do you want to do with million? For us, million doesn't do anything. It's just in the bank. It's nothing for us. We got to be able to make it make more. You got to have a plan. So I ain't gonna hold you, but I said you damn. That's what you was saying today. I was like, yo, we call in. You guys on one this point. So enjoy the night and thank you, man. The love. All right. Talk to you in a minute.
Thank you so much, Mike. Much love to you. I love it. Yeah, that dude, you could tell. It's weird, dog. Dan, as I age, the words that I use, it's just is what it is. It's like the truth, and you could, when you talk, it's like, I know that's a fact, right? My kids are like, why would I believe you? I'm like, because I know, like when I hear Mike, this dude, the words he uses, man, they're right in the point.
Right to the point. You could tell he's real knows real.
This dude, every word is selected. He just like, man, this dude, he's right. Dan, I don't know if you was on one tonight. You on one every night, other than the fact that ain't nobody gonna tell you show up whenever you want to show up.
No bullshit, bro. I was there for 20 minutes. I actually was I was returning emails on my phone, and I said, you know what? I even called you. Check your phone. I text you and called you.
I didn't see it.
Check your phone. I bet you're gonna see 2 texts from me.
Dan, you
No
tell
bullshit.
everybody should know how this is. Oh, you did call. I didn't see you call.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it more.
And then I said to myself, let me go on. I said, because this ain't like Chris. Let me go on and see if he's on live. And I see you on live. I'm like, yo, let me in, bro. Guys,
Y'all know damn bullshit.
I called out Chris on the chat, right? He had to let me in. He was trying to steal the show by himself tonight, guys.
Dan shows up when he I'm Dan Borrero.
Yeah, that's it. Straight up, people. The 19th, Kris Haskins will be in New York. We're having a free meetup for the Unleashed community and the Ultimate Landlord community. So that's gonna. Those emails actually went out tonight. We'll be sending you guys reminders. So again, be there. Be there.
Dan, I need to get that link for the Ultimate Land for your Unleashed so I can send to my people too. If people want to get that, correct?
Allison sent it to you.
All right, cool. We'll go over that tomorrow then.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Good night, everyone.
Like, subscribe. See you soon. Peace.